Did you know about the Soderbergh Adam Driver Star Wars thing before that came out?
How dare you ask me a question like that?
There was a recent news, really interesting news about this movie, Hunt for Ben Solo, which Adam Driver let drop in some interview he did a few months ago. It was going to be a follow-up to the sequel trilogy. Steven Soderbergh came up with this story idea along with his wife, Jules Asner.
I love the fact that Steven Soderbergh is just, even if he's not going to be in charge of it, sitting there, that means he's a fanboy, because you don't just sit there going like, well, what if, unless you're invested, and that's awesome. That's Soderbergh. You don't connect with this at all.
One of the last times we talked about it, we weren't sure if there was an actual script or not. Turns out there is. Scott C. Burns wrote a whole draft, a whole ass script for this movie.
And clearly Adam Driver loved it. Yeah. Because he's the guy putting the word, or was the guy putting the word out.
I don't even know what you're talking about.
Have you read the script, the Soderbergh script that we'll never see?
Who? What?
Soderbergh.
And the only reason it didn't get made is because the higher-ups at Disney said no. It wasn't even Kathleen Kennedy who stepped in the way. She loved it. Filoni loved it. Everybody was like, yeah, let's do this. And what was more stunning to me, hearing all that is interesting enough, but the fan base rallied around this idea, even though they're like, yes, what? Why? We want to see this, you know? The amount of excitement for this that there wasn't for the Rey movie, and there's nothing against the Rey character, but this is the reason why I think this generated so much interest. Even if people don't really realize that that's why they're interested, because it is essentially a retcon. They're talking about resurrecting a character who died in that movie. They're talking about undoing something. And I think that for people are like, what? You know, it's like they smell something cooking in the kitchen. Like, I don't know what that is, but I really want to see what this is, you know?
I think that's a combo. I mean, as far as because we don't know really what the story is, but the fact that they're all in, just like you're talking about, that kind of enthusiasm, including Kathleen Kennedy and Dave Filoni, which I didn't know that they were like jazzed. Mm-hmm. That I think is the thing. We don't know what it is or what shape it is. At the same time, all that excitement around it, to squash that, I think everyone's like going, at least let us see it. The fact that anyone out there who saw the sequel trilogy, if any of them are excited about the possibility of a redemption or at least just a cleanup storyline with that character, do it. I don't. Yeah. And it's also sad that Disney, I kind of thought that Star Wars was often its own thing, as in Disney's letting them go do that. Because Marvel kind of has their own power, even though Disney owns them. So the fact that Disney could say, no, we're not going to carry that farther. And the Star Wars creative team and all that is like, okay, sorry, Overlord.
Yeah.
When everyone's on board, the fact that the company can just say no, that's bad.
They're really nervous about the big swings now. And to them, Hunt for Ben Solo sounds like a big swing. They're like, this doesn't make sense to us.
You're right. Always follow the P.